I'm home. Golly gee, 10 days. Whoa. That was, I'm so tired today. I can't describe to you how tired I am anyway. I'm tired today. It's been a big old 10 days and I'm home. And I suppose my connection to God has been a bit hit and miss because I've had people around me all the time. And that doesn't sound like a good excuse, does it? Because we should be connecting to God all the time. We should. Oh, sorry. We could connect to God all the time. It doesn't matter if people are around. I think I maybe have brought God in a bit more. I've certainly spoken about God with a fair degree of honesty and impunity. I'm doing this with my hands, and the picture that I chose for today, the thumbnail, is the lotus flower. And I've also posted a link to a little video. Oh, I've nearly killed my YouTube addiction, by the way. Yay. Not completely, but oh man, I've reduced it so much. But I do like to slip in every so often and see what Laurie Ladd's got to say, because I like Laurie Ladd and she's on this path as well of connecting with God. So I've linked her little short about being super aware. And going back to the lotus flower, I guess maybe for me, I see the lotus flower as a little receiver, all those petals. It's like a radio receiver, but it's, so if I imagine putting a lotus flower on my crown chakra, and then I can receive from out there somewhere, source, God, creator, spirit, the great wise one, I don't know, ultimate power. I don't even know what the word is, but I think it's about what's running the show, really. And I do think it's a show. The more I think about this place we're living in, the more I think it's a show. And the more I think that show actually is being put on by robots. And, you know, like I was with my brother and he kept saying, where have all the people gone? And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, you go into a supermarket. You used to have 10, 15, 20 checkouts open. Now there's one, and there's a couple of people hanging out by the robot machines, and there's nobody else. And then everything you go to do. So I had a stone hit my windscreen. Very annoying. Meant that my windscreen has cracked. So I went to phone the number. I got a little card, and there's a phone number. I'm like, great, it's a phone number. It will be much quicker for you if you go into your customer portal. What's quick about going into a customer portal? What my brother and I were reflecting on was that we seem to be ever more busy doing lots of nonsense, and everything takes longer. Everything seems to take longer than it used to back in the day. You never dial a number and have a human on the other end. Not never, but it's so rare to actually have the phone picked up by something that's not a robot. And if his theory about these people disappearing is correct, well, where have they all gone? And what the hell are we doing? I went back into my phone after not very much use, and I was in, I don't know, last night I was in like Safari or something. Everything I do is cluttered with adverts. My little bit of YouTube that I do allow myself to, they now run an advert, but you can't get rid of it when you go back into the video. It's still hanging out in the corner. I think you can swipe off it, but everything is about taking your attention and costing you something. That seems to be my assessment. I've got quite a lot of beef with the money system, and I do think that the money system is how we're kept in our shackles. And I think more and more people think they're so free because they get to choose on this computer what they do. Anyway, so I was talking about God. So God, I believe to be a force of good. Whatever God is, I don't know. I don't think it's a man in a cloud with a big white beard. I think it's an energy, it's a frequency, and it's an energy of goodness. And sadly, I think the world is really being run by badness. It seems to me that the badder you are, the more demonic and the more devilish your what is it, proclivities are, the more you're going to succeed if being rich and famous is succeeding. I'm not sure that being rich and famous is success. I actually think that getting off these devices ultimately is probably going to be the biggest liberation that any of us has. Says me making a video on a computer. And like I've said before, these videos are mostly for me to see what happens in these 40 days of connecting with God. But I have come back with an idea for making some of that dreaded money, which is to offer myself to the good folk of Peacehaven, where I live. Should I have said that? Oh, too late. To the good folk of the place where I live, as Emma's helping hands, because I am very practical and people need help. So I'm going to be offering people help. And I'm going to go now. All right. Bye-bye.